Most people get this wrong when starting a company in Uganda. They assume it is just filling out forms online and getting a certificate. But here's the truth no one tells you. If you miss even one legal step, your business can be delayed, rejected, or forced into costly corrections after you already start operating. And that is exactly what we are going to fix today. Because in the next few minutes, you will learn how to start a company in Uganda step by step in 2026 in a way that actually works in real life. We will cover everything from choosing your company structure, registering with the URSB, getting your tax number, opening a bank account, and avoiding the mistakes that quietly destroy new businesses. And stay with me, because in a minute, I will also show you the most overlooked legal step that many entrepreneurs skip, and it causes problems months later when they try to grow or get investors. Let's start from the very beginning. In Uganda, company registration is mainly handled by the Uganda Registration Services Bureau, also known as URSB. This is the official body that gives your company legal identity. But before you even think about registration, you need to make a key decision that shapes everything else. You must choose your business structure. This is where most beginners rush and later regret it. There are 3 common structures in Uganda. The first is a sole proprietorship. This is owned by one person. It is simple and fast to set up, but here is the problem. There is no legal separation between you and the business. So if the business has debts, you personally are responsible. The second is a partnership. This is when 2 or more people run the business together. It is flexible, but responsibility and risk are shared between partners. The third and most important structure is a private limited company. This is the one most serious businesses choose. Why? Because it creates a separate legal identity. That means the company can own assets, take loans, and sign contracts independently from you. Now here is where it gets interesting. If you plan to grow your business, attract investors, or work with international clients, a private limited company is almost always the safest choice. So for this guide, we will focus on that structure. Now the next step is choosing your company name. This sounds simple, but it is one of the most underestimated steps in the entire process. Your company name must be unique and approved by URSB. If another company already has a similar name, your application can be rejected. Many people make a mistake here. They choose a name without checking availability properly. Then they waste days or even weeks restarting the process. So what should you do instead? Prepare at least 3 to 5 name options before you begin. This gives you flexibility if your first choice is rejected. Now once your name is approved, you move to the actual registration process with URSB. This is where you officially create your company. You will be required to fill out incorporation forms and provide details about your company, including directors, shareholders, and the registered address. Now let's slow this down because this part is important. A director is the person who manages the company. A shareholder is the person who owns the company. One person can be both, but they are legally different roles. This is where many beginners get confused and make errors in their application. For example, John might be both the owner and the manager of a small startup. That is fine. But the system still requires you to clearly define each role separately. If you mix this up, your documents may need corrections later. Now you also need to decide your share structure. In a private limited company, ownership is divided into shares. For example, one person can own 100%, or 2 people can split ownership 60-40. Now, here is a key insight. Your share distribution is not just a formality. It affects decision-making, profit sharing, and future investment opportunities. So take time to set it up properly. Once your documents are ready, you submit them to URSB either through their online system or physically, depending on your registration method. Now here is where patience becomes important. URSB will review your application. If everything is correct, you will receive your certificate of incorporation. This is the official document that proves your company legally exists in Uganda. But we are not done yet. Because now comes one of the most important steps that many people ignore. Tax registration. In Uganda, every company must register with the Uganda Revenue Authority, also known as URSB. This is where you get your tax identification number, commonly called TIN. Without a TIN, your company is not fully operational. You cannot open a business bank account, issue invoices, or comply with tax regulations. So how does it work? You apply for a TIN through URA by submitting your company details and incorporation certificate. Once approved, your company is officially recognized for tax purposes. Now, here is a common mistake. Many new business owners delay tax registration because they think it can be done later. But in Uganda, it is part of the legal business foundation. Delaying it can cause compliance issues and penalties. Now, let's move to the next step, which is opening a business bank account. This step is critical because your company should never mix personal and business finances. To open a business account in Uganda, you will need your incorporation certificate, TIN certificate, company documents, and identification for directors. Banks may also ask for your business description and expected transactions. Now here is something most beginners do not realize. Banks evaluate risk. That means your business activity must be clearly explained and consistent with your registration documents. If there are inconsistencies, your application can be delayed. Now let's talk about licenses and permits. This is where many entrepreneurs face unexpected delays. Depending on your business type, you may need additional licenses from local authorities or sector regulators. For example, if you are opening a restaurant, importing goods, running a financial service, or operating in construction, you will need specific approvals. Skipping this step is a major mistake. Many people register a company but forget operational licenses. Then when they start working, they face inspections or fines. So always check your industry requirements before launching. Now let's bring everything together with a real example. Imagine Alex, an entrepreneur from India, wants to start a trading company in Kampala. He chooses a private limited company, prepares his documents carefully, checks his company name properly, and submits everything to URA. Because he follows the process step by step, he receives his incorporation certificate without delays. Then he registers for tax with URA, gets his TIN, opens a business bank account, and applies for necessary trading licenses. His setup is smooth because he followed the system correctly. Now compare that with Jake, who rushed the process. He picked a name without checking, mixed up director details, delayed tax registration, and ignored licensing requirements. Later, he has to redo documents and loses time and money. This is the difference between doing it right and doing it twice. Now here is a key insight most people never hear. The real success of company registration in Uganda is not just incorporation. It is compliance. That means keeping your company active with tax filings, renewals, and proper records. Many businesses fail not because they were not registered, but because they ignored compliance after registration. So once your company is set up, your responsibility does not end. It actually begins. Now, let's quickly summarize everything so it stays clear. First, choose your business structure carefully. Second, reserve your company name through URA. Third, prepare and submit incorporation documents. Fourth, receive your certificate of incorporation. Fifth, register for taxes with URA and get your TIN. Sixth, open a business bank account. And finally, apply for any industry-specific licenses. If you follow these steps in order, you avoid most legal problems and delays. And here is the final takeaway. Starting a company in Uganda is not difficult, but it requires accuracy. Every step depends on the one before it. If you rush or skip steps, you will face problems later. So take your time, follow the process properly, and build your business on a strong legal foundation. If this guide helped you, like the video, comment with your business idea, and subscribe for more clear, practical, step-by-step business guides from around the world.